These are the largest turbines ever trucked in this country.
They're all large items. There's probably 10 to 11 truckloads per wind turbine, and there's 70 turbines in this project.
Adding up to a staggering 700 gigantic loads.
Front right.
Operations manager Mark Shaberis has moved wind farms before, but never on this scale.
A ship will come in with probably 10 complete turbines. Now we work 2 shifts, 18-hour days, 20-hour days, to unload them into the ground, then we just reload them out of here.
At 511 kilometres, it's the furthest a wind farm has ever been transported in Australia.
Our longest item is our blade, which is 60 metres. Our blades go out at 1 o'clock 3 days a week.
Tonight, Paul Cunningham, also known as Blinky, will be the front trucker in a convoy of 2 blades.
This load's done with 47 and 48. 47 and 48 out of 210.
1 a.m. The only time it's legal to move a load this big.
You there, are you, Chris?
Yeah, mate, ready when you are.
Righto, anyway.
Time for Blinky and his 6 vehicle support crew to step up.
Got a pilot right out the front, 2 police cars. The pilot's just in front of me. I've got a steerer and another pilot behind the load. The steerer's a pilot, but he just sits behind us and guides us around the corners.
Blinky's steerer and second set of eyes is 22-year-old Chris Parnell.
I'll steer it right a little bit, think.
It's a crucial partnership.
Yeah, a bit more right.
With a 70-metre rig between them,
Hold the steering there.
the smallest miscommunication
You can steer him left a little bit maybe, just to get off the gutter.
could have massive repercussions. With a 60-metre load, to stay legal, he needs to be past the next major town before 6 a.m.
Got to be through Tamworth by 6 o'clock. Otherwise, you've got to wait till after peak hour.
Miss that curfew and he'll be grounded for the entire morning, delaying work at the wind farm. He's got 3 hours to drive 200 kilometres.
You just lost a strap.
At this pace, it's going to be tight.
One of the straps that come off the tyres on the back of the trailer. Just going to strap them back on. Must have just rubbed through a bit and broke.
Hitting a section of rough road, steerer Chris wants to check the problem strap.
Yeah, the back set. Top one's come off. The bottom one.
Oh, mate, I'll get up the top of the hill here and I'll throw a chain over them. This bloody road's just so rough.
It's another costly delay on a schedule starting to blow out.
Sick of this shit.
And now Blinky's crew have found another problem.
Change the tyre, left hand side.
Oh shit. You shit me or what? Thank you, girls and ball boys. Thank you for that.
No worries, mate.
No further delays required. That's something I didn't need changing the flat tyre this time of morning. Every delay costs you time.
We're going to be pushing for gas here today, aren't we, Blink?
Yeah, mate, yeah. It's 5:25, about 15 k's out of Tamworth. A little bit behind time because we had to change the tyre.
They've reached the edge of town.
Circus is coming to Tamworth.
Now to make it through.
Yeah, you just want to go straight down, Craig, and go down and get them signs out down the bottom, mate.
The 6 a.m. curfew is just 15 minutes away.
Just got to move the sign, mate, won't be a second.
And now he's forced to do the legwork himself. Valuable minutes are ticking away.
You all down off the island, mate?
Righto.
Miss his curfew and he'll have to park up through peak hour and then face heavy daytime traffic.
Wait till after peak hours, a nightmare trying to get through because there's that much traffic on the road. It's bad enough at 6 o'clock in the morning. This is the worst one in Tamworth, this one. The islands are about 6 inches high. They're actually higher than normal gutters.
Alright, mate, hard left.
That's our last roundabout in Tamworth. And stopping right on 6 o'clock. We're here on time, so we can't get ourselves into trouble.
A quick breather and Blinky keeps pushing north.
Last roundabout before we get to Glen Innes.
Blinky's now just 23 kilometres from his destination. Only 2 turns remain, but they're the toughest of the trip.
The first one's very tight. The only thing on every corner up here is the just the blade on the telegraph pole, about half a metre clearance on the tip of the blade.
To stand a chance of making it, steerer Chris needs to be on the ground. Hemmed in by homes and power poles, one wrong move could devastate this neighbourhood.
Bloody pain in the arse having that little step there, isn't it?
Yep.
Yeah, a bit more right, mate. Slow it down. Yeah, right, mate.
You go hard left now. Yeah, roughest pole, out the key hard right. There, right away, hard left now. Oh, just there that, mate. Just make it around the corner if it's good.
Safely through, but Blinky's not taking all the credit.
It's a joint venture thing, you know. Them blokes down the back there get it wrong, I get it wrong, but young Chris has been steering me now for 2 months. Seem to be doing all right together now. The circus is leaving Glen Innes.
Blinky is now within striking distance of the wind farm.
You've got a few up now.
Yeah, thanks Blinky, thanks ladies and gents, we'll see you next run.
Righto, bye-bye.
One big hurdle remains.
Still got to get up the pad yet.
The narrow, steep and winding dirt road to site.
There's still another 10 k's yet.
To help him up, a tow truck is ready.
Just cruise up there in front of us, mate, and see how we go. When we need it, we'll hook it on.
But Blinky's backing himself to make it up on his own.
When it's wet with the change of the camber of the road, that's our main issue up this whole road. You don't want to go over the side. You're going a long way down.
I'll be 2 to 1.
This is our pad. Use these 2 big yellow machines and they'll unload it for us. We have reached our destination.
It's another mission accomplished for Blinky and one step closer to completing a massive job. In the dense woodlands of southeast Australia,
One of the hardest driving jobs anywhere in the world.
a new logging season is about to begin. For 32-year-old Brett Robin, the next few days will test his skill behind the wheel to the limit. It's Brett's job to move a series of huge machines deep into a mountain forest. Without them, the season can't begin.
When you start stressing, that's when things go wrong.
Brett's based in the Central Highlands of Victoria, 70 kilometres east of Melbourne. Logging is one of the most hazardous jobs in the world.
As dangerous goes, very, very dangerous job.
Only the best of the best can cut it behind the wheel on these roads.
You take your eyes off where your steer tyre's going for even, 2 or 3 seconds, you're in trouble.
Brett's been driving here nearly every day for the last 13 years.
Timber industry is one of them things that it's in your blood. I used to ride around with Dad from being a little kid. Every Saturday, every day off, Dad would do maintenance on weekends and I'd be sitting up in the truck.
For 5 generations, the Robin family have worked these renewable forests.
Everything's an 80-year cycle. Once we harvest it, they generally burn it and regenerate it. And it's grouse to be able to go back and harvest and regenerate areas my grandfather and great-grandfather have done. I hope my kids get to do it too.
With the start of a new season, Brett is hoping for good weather. But recent forecasts bring bad news. Heavy rain is due. If it hits, he won't be going anywhere.
We're not allowed in and out of the bush when it's wet. They're not the types of days you want to be driving a truck on the road anyway.
If Brett can't deliver the goods, a multi-million-dollar logging operation will grind to a halt.
Yeah, we can't start harvesting or hauling until we get the machines in the bush. We've got a short time frame. We want to get into it.
To survive here, it takes a very special trucker.
You've got to be dedicated. You've got to want to drive on these roads. And I know one bloke that packed up his bags after halfway through his first load and just went home. So he never come back. Left the truck and went.
For the next 3 days, Brett will face some of the most dangerous roads in Australia.
Got to be on the ball all the time. It's not like driving up and down the highway chasing a white line. People do get bogged, especially this time of the year. And every now and then, someone has an accident and tips one over.
His first load is a 28-tonne excavator, double the weight of a London bus. To reach it, Brett will have to negotiate the notorious Black Spur Road.
It's a reasonably tight road.
It's 60 kilometres of narrow, winding track with steep drops and solid banks on either side.
Gutters drop off so quick and the bitumen finishes right at the white line. You're talking about a matter of inches. You've got to be aware of other drivers all the time.
Despite the early hour, Brett's got plenty of company.
You always get cars on the wrong side of the road. Cars overtaken, especially on spots where there's no room to be overtaken. Everyone's in a hurry to get to where they're going. Always a lot of accidents on this road.
While traffic is a constant hazard, as Brett climbs higher into the mountains, he's faced with even more danger. Dense fog and bright sunshine makes visibility poor.
Nothing bloody worse. Come around the corner in the fog, could be a tree across the road.
In these conditions, anything coming the other way could spell disaster. For now, conditions are perfect. But at this time of year, the weather can change fast. Brett's meeting his brother Glenn to load a massive excavator.
Now we need this machine back up the bush, so we're moving it out.
It's urgently needed in another part of the forest, where loggers are waiting to start work. At 28 tonnes, it's heavier than 4 adult elephants.
When he's driving it up on the float, he's blind on one side. I guide him on, that way a couple inches.
Brett and Glenn must be centimetre perfect.
Another inch. Righto.
Next, Brett must chain the excavator to his trailer. But today, he's in for an unpleasant surprise.
It's good when you turn up after you've asked the blokes to bloody dig it out, and then you turn up here and it's still full of mud.
It may be a dirty job, but it's vital the massive load is secure.
If I go around a corner and my chains are not holding properly and it slides, bad deal.
Finally, the boys are ready to go. Fully loaded, Brett's truck weighs in at more than 50 tonnes. At 30 metres, it's twice the length of a London bus. With a steep descent and more than 20 hairpin bends to negotiate, it's a supreme test of Brett's driving skill.
There might be something on the road that, you know, you end up moving around at that 6 inches, and that 6 inches can be enough that'll put you over the bank.
In the middle of a forest, there are hazards around every corner.
Driving along 1 minute and you'll come, be good as gold, and then you'll come along a soft spot from where the water's sitting underneath it. Oh. Too close to the soft spot, could end up sinking and tipping the truck over.
Brett's made it through the worst.
People have accidents. It's just part and parcel of this job.
But around the next corner, there's another surprise. On one side, a deep, soft gutter. On the other, a sheer drop.
You can end up on your roof on one side or bogged on the other. I had to get out a little bit wide on that corner. It was wanting to drag me in the gutter.
Finally at his destination, Brett can unload the urgently needed excavator. But after losing time cleaning his freight, he has another problem.
Things are taking us a little bit longer than what they should have. So now we're going to have to chance the rain.
The winter break has been a lean time for the family firm.
We've had 5 months off because we finished our quota early, so we're sort of really keen to get the machines back in the bush before this storm hits.
More delays could cost them big money. Brett's truck is already struggling to cope in wet conditions. If more rain comes, he could get bogged. He's picking up a 20-tonne digger. At 4 metres wide, Brett will have to extend his hydraulic trailer to get it on board. But there's a problem. It isn't budging.
Oh, the bloody float won't widen out. Shits.
With dark clouds gathering, Brett puts in a call to his mechanic.
It's jammed up hard, like it's actually got heaps of pressure on it. Yeah, righto. All right, we'll give that a go.
The mechanic thinks a locking pin may have slipped back into place. It should be an easy fix. But under the trailer,
No pin on this side.
there is no locking pin. It's back onto the phone for plan B.
Yeah, there's no pin on this side. Where's Daryl?
With rain fast approaching, he needs to get his hydraulic trailer working or run the risk of getting bogged.
No pin on this side.
The trailer's been idle during the winter break. The source of the problem could take days to find.
Pull it out the excavator.
Brett's only got one option: use the excavator to force the trailer open. With the trailer open, Brett can load up and get back on the road. He's heading for a forest 60 kilometres away at the end of another narrow dirt track. Better suited to 4x4s, it's not a journey for the faint-hearted.
My wife come for a ride first time ever in a truck, and This was the road we come along. Down here where you look over the bank, probably, if you don't like heights, you come down here, it's the last time you've ever been in a truck.
Up ahead is a notoriously tight hairpin. Brett must play a balancing game to get around it.
There's both sides of the road soft. Because it's a big soak that comes down here in like a spring.
To stop his truck from sliding down the steep bank,
You only get one go at this corner.
Brett needs to place his front tyres as far over to the right as he dares. Push too far and he'll bog the truck in thick mud.
Beautiful. We're out in the mud.
The logging camp isn't far away. While the roads are tight and twisting, at least they're empty. That's until the car ahead is blocking the road and there's no way Brett can reverse. Confronted with a 30-metre long 50-tonne truck, the driver has frozen. Brett can't move over any further.
Last thing you want to do is risk moving over that extra foot and being down over the edge, which has happened quite a few times.
The only way forward is back.
I don't think she's real good at going backwards.
It's a minor delay, but daylight's running out fast. Brett needs to push on and make camp before dark. Finally, the finish line is in sight. Brett's beaten the weather, survived the road, and delivered massive machines into the heart of the Victorian forest. And he's made it without a scratch. At least this time.
Every now and then you do sort of stick yourself in a position where, you know, you're stuck to the seat, let's put it that way.
In a man's world, the truckers don't come tougher than Heather Jones.
It's quite rare for women in Australia to do the work that I do, specifically this kind of heavy haulage work. There's probably only 4 or 5 of us that do this.
Heather's about to begin a crucial job, moving sections of Australia's largest mobile crane. At up to 600 tonnes and 200 metres high, it's a colossal jigsaw puzzle. It's a 1,200-kilometre run through some of Australia's hottest, most isolated highways. In Karratha, the first and heaviest components of the giant crane are being loaded onto Heather's triple road train. The crane is precious freight. It's the only one of its kind in the country, worth more than $11 million.
The goal for this particular task is to obviously get everything down there safely in one piece, and it's a very, very expensive bit of equipment.
The responsibility of securing 6 massive counterweights falls squarely on Heather's shoulders.
Well, this weighs 12.5 tonne. You can imagine what would happen if it came off at 100 kilometres an hour or 90 kilometres an hour.
Fully loaded, Heather will be behind the wheel of a huge 100 tonnes. If she were towing that weight in cars, her road train would be a massive 300 metres long. But the biggest weight on Heather's mind is out of her control.
The biggest challenge for this job over the few days is the weather.
On these roads, it's survival of the fittest.
Yesterday it was 44 degrees.
Heather will put her strength to the test, even before she rolls out.
Physically it's quite demanding. You've got to have a little bit of upper body strength, otherwise when you're throwing chains and tying loads down you can't get them tight enough. I don't need to do my half-an-hour ropes before I come to work, believe me.
With the load secure, Heather's ready to take on the baking highway. The heat is on. After 20 years driving the big rigs, she knows the road hazards all too well.
Cattle, sheep, kangaroos. You can hit a cow and it's all over.
So far, the journey's been trouble-free. But after a stop to check the load, suddenly there's an alarming call on the two-way.
Rocks in the middle of the road.
Just heard on the radio that there's some rocks on the road near the roundabout, so I don't know whether it's the road we're on. Be a bit careful.
It's not much to go on. Heather hopes truckers ahead may know more. It's the call no trucker wants to hear. Up ahead, a truck has rolled. But Heather doesn't know exactly where. With no idea what could be around the next bend, she's heading into trouble.
It always makes you very concerned when we hear that there's been an accident. Everyone you know will ring to make sure that you're okay if they know that you're on that highway. When something like this happens, we could be held up for many hours. Oh, here's the accident now. It's happened recently. There's no emergency services here, or there's no crane, or there's no one here to pick it up. There's a trailer that's rolled on this triple in front of us on our side of the lane. Rocks are all over the road on the right. It's destroyed the road, but enough room for us to get by.
Despite the carnage, no one's hurt, but it could have been a very different story.
The size of those rocks, obviously there would have been a fatality if the rocks had hit someone. Straight away, your concern is for your fellow truck drivers, and your heart goes out to those boys as well.
Finally, Heather rolls into Onslow, but her work is far from done. In 40-degree heat, she must disconnect her trailers and haul each one to the drop-off point. But there's a problem.
I'm not getting any joy.
The release mechanism connecting the trailer to the truck is jammed.
The previous job it was on a mine. They spray salt water on the road, so that might have made all the working mechanism a little bit tighter.
Heather hopes reversing will loosen the connection.
See if we can full release now.
But it's still not budging. Without Heather's freight, the $11 million crane can't be assembled. If she can't fix the problem, the whole operation and her reputation will be at risk. She hopes a fellow trucker can provide her with an extra pair of hands. Heather will rock the truck back and forth
Watch your feet.
while the trucker pulls hard on the handle. Nothing seems to be working. Heather's fast running out of options.
So what I'm going to do now is try and ratchet it out. I get another ratchet the strap and put it in the centre and pull it out.
Finally, Heather's able to offload the crane counterweights.
That was a pretty hard day today.
But it's just the halfway point. Tomorrow, she'll have to deal with an even bigger load.
Today we're taking the superstructure, which is the top part of the crane.
With so much weight on board, she's concerned how the tyres on her oversized trailer will cope with the blistering heat.
See how small the tyres are? There's not enough airflow that goes past the tyres heat up.
With millions of dollars at stake, it's pilot Andre's job to guide Heather safely to her destination.
Car's coming at you going 110, you need to give as much warning as possible.
Being a pilot comes with huge responsibility, but Andre's got another reason to be on top of his game.
Heather's my mother-in-law. Yeah, she's probably one of the best you can have. She's great, and I'm not just saying that. She's actually the one that got me into doing this in the first place, so she can't be too hard on me.
He's a really good son-in-law. He does exactly what he's told. Now everything's all smooth sailing, the truck's great, the load's great. It's actually a pleasure to hop in this truck now and get this load down the highway. It's really, really lovely.
Heather's load is so large, it must be delivered before nightfall. But immediately, she hits a barrage of traffic, keeping Andre busy.
We're northbound, we've got one at 3.7 at the wheels, mate, and she's heavy.
With big rigs jamming up the highway, Heather's got no room to spare.
Keep going, I'll back it up, keep going.
Southbound, hold your line, mate, when you get to us on one side for you.
No worries.
The temperature's into the 40s. Heather wants to check her tyres.
These tyres are really hot though. Burn your hand to touch. And once we head off, we'll have to go a bit slower.
Slowing down will protect her tyres, but she'll be cutting it fine to get to her destination before dark. Then suddenly...
Heather, we got a casualty there.
Oh no, we've blown the blooming tyre.
Tire's ready to come off. Sit on the rim.
There's nowhere safe for the massive truck to pull over. Heather must keep driving and hope the tyre doesn't start to disintegrate. If it does, she risks hot rubber and metal, causing a multiple blowout.
I knew it. Now I gotta change it.
Now Heather has another challenge. Replacing the tyre in scorching heat.
It was 44 when we pulled up, so we got flies and it's pretty hot, so burn your knees and everything. The tyre's hot, the rim's hot, the tools are hot. It's definitely blown because of the heat. Have a look at the tyre, it's still got heaps of tread on it, so it's definitely the heat. They're pretty tight, they're locked on.
Changing the wheel puts her at serious risk of holding up the crane assembly.
That lift with the two cranes will have to be put back till tomorrow, so hopefully we'll get there before nightfall, otherwise we're not allowed on the road.
She must get the job done quickly.
That's it, done, ready to go. That's hot. Rightio, when it's clear, Andre, thank you.
There's little over 2 hours of daylight left.
We've got about 90 k's to go.
Now, Heather faces a huge dilemma.
It really is challenging because if you've got a deadline, do you put your foot down and risk blowing another tyre and then you lose an hour, or do you just stay steady so you just scrape in when the sun goes down?
With millions of dollars at stake, the whole job's hanging in the balance. The last rays of daylight are fading fast. Then, Heather catches a break on the radio.
The lift has been put back a day. We won't make it before 6 o'clock, which is the cut-off time for this superstructure to be taken off the float.
Heather can now pull up and cruise to the finish line in the morning. The 80-ton superstructure is finally here. The assembly of Australia's biggest mobile crane can get underway. Under massive pressure and in brutal conditions, Heather Jones has delivered. But in Australia's trucking heartland, there's one rule: do it all again tomorrow.
It's a good feeling when you drop your trailers and you're just bobtailing home. I can actually do 100 k's. Job's over and getting back home.
Why did we put 2 of these here, 2 in the middle?
In Mackay, Queensland, Brian Anderson and Athol Martin are the kings of heavy haulage. With 75 years of trucking experience between them, they're in the high-risk business of shifting giant loads. And they don't come much bigger than these colossus, 2 95-ton mining dumpsters headed to iron ore mines in the northwest of Australia.
You just cannot afford to have the load shift. It's just going to stay where it is.
At $2 million each, these reconditioned beasts will replace others coming out of service.
They weigh about 90, 95 tonne as they are here, 7 metres wide and 5.4 metres high.
Before these colossal machines go anywhere, Athol and Brian must secure their oversized load to the strictest haulage regulations.
Everything's got to be exactly right before we leave.
Make a mistake and authorities can shut them down at any point during the trip.
If we don't get it right with the loading and they measure us, they won't let us go.
Raising the dumpster is a 38-metre high crane rated to lift 105 tonnes.
Just going to back under it now.
Athol has to position his truck centimetre perfect.
Yeah, just start to back up, line it up, get it straight now to back underneath it.
The smallest variation in trailer position could unbalance the load.
Yeah, it should be going that way.
There's no margin for error.
Yeah, we'll just have a look, check it, and make sure it's right. That's spot on there too. So all we need to block her up. Right, mate. Oh, no, mate, come down on that. Just loading them down low as we can to get under bridges.
Too much weight on that.
Yeah, hold him. Righto, bring him down.
Lowering the giant dumpster, it's vital the weight is balanced evenly over all the axles to avoid a catastrophic accident.
Let the weight go on the wings a bit. That's got weight on it now. Righto, that's it.
In the final safety checks, Athol finds a problem.
Oh, no. Yeah, just checking it out to see whether it's right. I've got to move it over to the right a bit more, so I'll pull back out.
But with the mining giant almost secured, heavy rain brings loading to an abrupt stop. An hour later, the heavy rain has eased.
I've got to move it over to the right a bit more, so I'll pull back out and back under again, line it up.
After the delay, Athol can't waste any more time with his second attempt to load the dumpster truck safely.
Whoa! Bring him down. Yeah, mate, let it go.
I'll unhook your chain,
Come on, keep coming back.
Brian loads up the second dumpster.
Keep it coming, mate, you'll be right. Yeah, that'll do, mate, we'll get at that.
It's going to go over the weighbridge at Catherine, so we have to have our weights perfect.
Yeah, mate, let it go.
Yeah, mate, she's good.
You just cannot afford to have the load shift. It's just going to stay where it is. All loaded, ready to go.
At 4:30 a.m. next morning, before traffic hits the road,
Everything's right to go. Police are happy with everything. They've measured the heights and the width.
190 tonnes of mining machinery prepares to cross the continent.
Where are you at, Jules? Yeah, right. Just watch me tail swing when I'm coming out. I might use this trailer, right?
Yep.
Yeah, we'll just keep watching the left when I come out of it. Clear the end of that fence.
Yeah, you've still about a metre to go and you've got plenty of room both sides.
A police escort for each truck warns motorists that this oversized convoy takes up the entire width of the road.
We've got a pilot, 2 police, myself, another pilot, then another policeman, then Brian, and then another pilot behind. Bit of fog around, but anyway, it usually gets foggy around here, around these rivers and creeks at that time of the day, after rain. If it becomes too thick and too dangerous for visibility, we've got to find somewhere to pull up and let it clear.
Outbound, we're at 7 metres away.
It's a bit dangerous.
Just an hour into their journey, a heavy fog closes in.
This morning with the fog, we can't do much about it. That's Mother Nature at work. We just have to roll with it.
The police shut down the convoy until it clears.
Right, swing over that side.
Every hour late in delivering the dumpsters will cost their mining company owners thousands of dollars.
Now coming out of the pads, we'll have 2 loads at 7 metres.
The fog finally begins to lift.
We're all good to go.
Ahead lies the 400-metre slopes of the Eaton Range, a series of steep, winding hill climbs.
It's steep, all right. You can get into a lot of trouble on it. And there's one hairpin on it. You've got to judge it right to get round the corners. You can be a bit of a diesel spill or an oil spill or anything on the hill that causes drama.
Westbound, approaching Oakey Creek. 2 loads, 7 metres wide.
To get towards the bottom of the range, the Eaton there. Foggy, but it'll clear again.
Approaching the ranges, the convoy calls in some added insurance. A high-powered tow truck to provide extra grunt. First up the hill is Athol. The trucks need to be connected by a heavy-duty stiff bar. It should be a simple operation.
Bring it back. Go forward a bit. Ah, not a open hell. The pin's too big. Give me the shit.
The connector pins are the wrong size. Without a stiff bar that fits, Athol's fully laden truck won't make it up the range.
Oh, we haven't got a stiff bar to fit pins. Tow these things up the hill. All these big mad rushes and everything, and nobody organises shit.
Just in time, Brian arrives in the second truck.
Oh, I've got to get a stiff bar off his other truck.
Brian's stiff bar is also a problem.
We've got different size pins that we've got to knock the bush out of this bar.
The bush from the eye of the stiff bar is proving stubborn. With a multi-million-dollar load and police escorts waiting, the pressure is mounting on Brian and Athol. Finally, the bush is out.
Bring it back, brother.
With the heavy-duty tow truck attached, Athol now has twice the horsepower to pull the enormous load up the steep hill.
Yeah, let's go.
Both trucks have to coordinate their revs to make sure they're in sync as they begin the climb.
I got 1800 revs there. I I reckon if we do it about that, we'll be pretty good.
They can't afford to stall or stop at any point.
If you get people that don't know what they're doing, they're in the wrong gear or try to change gears on the pull, you can get in a lot of trouble. That is right, a little bit moist in places. You just pick a gear and leave it in that gear and work your way to the top. Over to your right a bit more, brother. Yeah, we're just about halfway up now. We're just coming to the steep part, the really steep part at the top. Good, everything's fine.
Athol has made it to the top. Back at the bottom of the hill, Brian's truck is configured differently. He will need to be pushed up. Once again, the police close the hill down to all traffic, clearing a path for the massive load. Now Brian, working in tandem with the tow truck, attempts the Eaton range.
You have to do a quick gear change halfway up the hill. That's when stuff breaks. Blow a diff, blow a tail shaft.
Brian makes it safely, and after releasing the tow truck, it's a race across the Queensland plains. Athol and Brian hope to make their overnight stop within the 12 hours of driving they're legally permitted each day. They've made it to Charters Towers before curfew. Now there's just 3,700 kilometres to go on the convoy's epic journey. On the outskirts of Brisbane, Robbie Mackay and his team are preparing for one of the most challenging jobs in their company's 7,000 house move history. A 700-kilometre haul with a fragile timber house. So big, it needs 2 trucks.
The house itself is 8 metres wide, 20 metres long. So it's a big chunk of house. Decent weights, like the trailers are running pretty much at their limits, carrying that sort of loads.
Company owner Robbie is the brains of the operation and lead driver.
And we're going to split the house in half. It's 2 sections going through, so we'll back this underneath, we'll push our steelwork in. We can both up at the same time and peel them apart.
With the trailers now taking the full weight of the house, it's time to split it in 2.
We're just going to pull the sheets off the roof now, and then we can lay it apart.
Easier said than done in an 80-house traffic jam.
All the houses all jammed in here to make room. So, yeah, it's a bit tight getting out, but we'll get it one way or the other.
The trailer's hydraulics inch the house apart.
Just watch that other side on that.
Now to drag the 2 parts out of the gridlock.
Right, start turning, eh?
Yeah, come around.
Damage. Just 10 metres into the journey.
I got about 20 there.
That's all I need.
In this packed yard, the 20-metre home is one of the largest.
Go out as wide as you can.
Its turning circle,
Ready to go, mate.
gigantic.
It's pretty long, so it takes a fair bit to get them out.
These are the first painful steps.
You got enough now?
On a 700-kilometre journey.
Yeah, I'm a locking back.
If they can get it out of the yard.
All right, we're out of there. Out of the woods now, mate.
But not without a scratch.
We got 80 houses here and you try and jam them in as much as you can. And then you got to get them all out, which is a pain in the ass, but how it goes.
The house is now ready for the challenging trip north. At 8 metres wide, this load can't leave until the streets are empty. At night.
If it's too easy, everyone will be doing it.
2 a.m. And the 14-man, one-woman team is ready to roll.
We've got a long way to go. A lot of stuff can go wrong, so everyone's on the ball, keeps awake. There's no dramas.
Just pay attention and we're all good.
Two police escorts, 2 loaded trucks, 3 pilot cars and 2 maintenance vans. The 9-vehicle convoy stretches almost half a kilometre. But all eyes are on Robbie and Shane. Longer than a tennis court and wider than 4 family cars. Hazards lurk around every corner.
Through signs and round streets and under wires and there's obstacles everywhere. All right, mate. All right. A lot of dangerous sort of things. It's just got to be aware of everything, you know.
A low bridge.
Go rolling slow. All right, mate. 6 inches. You're all right, keep it rolling.
While they've made it, their oversized permit demands they're through Gympie, 100 kilometres away before sunrise.
The lockout is daylight, so you got to be through Gympie before daylight.
Robbie's worried about a big section of roadworks just before town.
Well, it's still black, but it doesn't take long to get bright, so yeah, at this stage we're still going all right, but we haven't even got to the roadworks or nothing yet.
"30 minutes before sunup, signs of the roadworks ahead. When suddenly, the truck's engine is screaming.
I'll just pull over.
The timing couldn't be worse.
Oh, is it the fan?
Robbie and Shane's truck has big problems. The engine's cooling fan is broken.
We just done a fan belt and the fan belt's come off and it's gone into the actual fan itself, the clutch in it. Drop it.
There's no time for repairs.
I'll radio him. Unhook your truck and bring it up here.
Doing it now.
The only option, put less strain on the broken truck.
This truck's all right to drive, but not far, and not carrying this. So basically what we're going to do is we're going to unhook this truck, unhook the truck at the back piece. I'm going to hook the back truck up to this, and this truck up to the back piece because it's only tiny.
With sunrise and their curfew now only minutes away, the pressure's on.
The thermofan won't work. Yep. We're not at Gympie yet, and as you can see, it's getting daylight real quick, so we definitely need to hurry up and sort this out.
right, boys?
The sun is now up.
Yeah, she's pretty daylight, so...
The police are within their power to stop this move right now.
We'll just keep going. Hopefully the coppers don't say nothing. They're good coppers. Hopefully they'll let us keep going, so...
As for the damaged truck...
We're jumping on the wrong side, Jimmy.
Robbie sends it off to a local mechanic.
You're overtaking us where we can keep going. On the other side of town, mate, there's a truck shop. Just pull over there.
Without it fixed, the house will be minus a wall and a veranda. Robbie and Shane are now well into Gympie. From the police, it's been sweet silence.
We're going to Gympie and it's daylight, so it's all good. They can't stop us now, so... That's the end of Gympie, so we're all good again.
In Katanning, Western Australia, oversize expert Yogi is gearing up for another heavyweight challenge.
These are big and they're ugly and they look different and that, but I'm set up to cart them.
He's been hired to deliver a 20-ton harvester, or header, worth $500,000. It's big, brand new, and must be delivered without a scratch. It's a huge headache for Yogi and his wife and pilot, Amanda. Old mate Rob Poet will be hauling a second harvester in another truck. Looking after 2 trucks means more pressure on Amanda, but more precious dollars for the family business.
What are we loading that one?
I think so, I'll just find out.
Right, I'll set it up 3.7. He's about where we need to be.
Yogi's first task is getting the massive 5.2 metre wide load onto his trailer. One tiny mistake could seriously damage Yogi's freight and his reputation. But something's wrong.
It's a lot wider than what we thought, eh? But have a look at that wheel is over there. Like, yeah. That wheel's nearly off.
The whole job's suddenly in the balance.
I don't reckon I can cart it. Gee.
How wide you think?
Go at 3.8.
Yogi's only hope is to widen his hydraulic trailer as far as it will go. It's going to be close. But if he can't load up, Yogi faces an empty truck and an empty wallet.
I can't give this load away today because then I won't work today, so...
The trailer's at maximum width. Now Yogi and Rob must be millimetre perfect.
Slow, steady.
And with just millimetres to spare.
Ooh, that was waking you up early in the morning, wasn't it? Man, they're getting bigger though. That's the biggest I've seen.
At last, Yogi's convoy can roll out.
Righty-ho, let's get into it.
On the 450-kilometre run to Esperance.
I'm watching this load like a hawk because that's probably the widest header tyres I've seen, in the 7 years I've been carting headers. I'm basically sitting in the middle of the road here. So Amanda's job today is quite full on.
On narrow country roads, Amanda's biggest concern is oncoming traffic.
If you pass that little one, yes, all good.
Thank you.
To give as much warning as possible, she needs to sit well in front of the trucks.
Might just push you out just a little bit more, eh? Thank you.
And to make things tougher, today there's no shortage of company.
It's quite hectic and quite a little bit scary in some respects, you know. You got a heap of wide stuff coming towards you and a heap of not wide stuff, and the worst possible result happened.
But in farming country, there's one hazard that poses the biggest threat of all.
A lot of loaded road trains full of stock, so you got to give them right away.
Livestock trucks carry one of the most volatile, time-critical loads there is. Ahead, Amanda's spotted a giant. It's heading Yogi's way.
Got one at 4.2 there, westbound.
He needs to pull over and make way for the bigger rig. But on the narrow track,
I'll get off here as much as I can, but...
he's just metres from trouble. If Yogi can't get over far enough, the passing road train could shower his precious load with rocks.
But we're right over that edge there.
With no room to manoeuvre, it's going to be tight.
I don't want to be any more further over than what I am there now. No dramas at all, Chief. No dramas.
Despite the close shave, Yogi's goods are all good. But no sooner is he back up to speed than he hits a bad patch of road.
It's one of the roughest bits down through this part of the section, you know.
This section through is terrible, isn't it?
Yeah, steady, steady. You can feel the whole lot just left, right, pushing you around.
With the chains on the 20-ton load under extreme stress, Yogi needs to drive like he's on eggshells.
Got to maintain a constant speed through here and a good throttle control, just to keep it nice and straight, you know. A nice little tree there.
And at a towering 5 metres high, there's more danger overhead.
Trees, and more trees. These are the brand new headers, these, and they're going to a dealership, so no damage. You know. My whole sole focus in life is no damage.
Now we're on pretty much the South Coast Highway. It's a bit of a tourist route for caravans and stuff, so you're sort of wary of it and you watch out for them.
Every time a car goes past, you're always looking in your mirrors. Have they gone off far enough? And you hope they don't flick rocks. And...
On the main highway comes a higher speed limit. Now, every car is a threat to their precious load.
They got off the gravel a bit for us to give us room, but they didn't slow down. They went boring through, you know, doing the 110 and get pelted with rocks. And, you know, we appreciate them giving us a bit of room, but it'd be nice if they slowed down a bit too.
Every passing is a drama. Jesus.
Oh, they're fearless or they don't know what they're doing.
On the busy road, the hazards keep coming. Up ahead lies an accident black spot, a narrow bridge.
There's one bridge up here that Amanda's got to close. It's on a bend and we come onto a crooked. She has to stop the cars on that bridge.
To get through it, Yogi and Rob must put their trucks and their lives in Amanda's hands.
The bridge will be temporarily closed for 2 oversized vehicles heading south.
She needs to position herself where she can be seen.
With her car blocking the highway, Amanda's risking her own safety to protect Yogi and Rob.
Pretty serious part of the job. It's a pretty dangerous part of the job.
And the bottom line is simple.
We won't fit on that bridge with a car.
While Amanda keeps the traffic at bay, the boys need to hold their line and pray no one decides to ignore her.
They truck on the bridge.
Just got a little one past me now.
With zero margin for error, they're through. And just in time.
Just got to be on your game through here, and it's just all there is to it.
After a high-value, high-stress mission, finally they've reached the drop-off in Esperance. Thanks to everyone's hard graft, the $1 million loads arrived in showroom condition.
So another successful load means another happy customer.
Kendall Trucking has delivered once again.
Happy life, happy wife, another wad full of money in the bank.
Thanks for that.
We'll wrap this one up, put this one in the bag, big trucker.
In Central Australia, 450 kilometres from Alice Springs, Outback legend Steve Graham is hot.
It actually looks like a thunderstorm, but you know, she's 38 today.
And bothered.
This country is unforgiving. You make mistakes, you pay.
Steve is picking up massive heavy machinery from a place so isolated they've been forced to hack a loading ramp out of the earth.
You don't get a flash concrete ramp out here. We're not at the railway station, we're in the middle of the desert.
It's like a mechanical war hospital. The machinery's been worked to death in brutal desert conditions.
Can't get power to it.
Steve's job is to get the Outback casualties back to civilization for extensive repairs.
This is a mate's trailer I'm taking back for him as a favour.
The injured beast spews out oil as it's being rescued, all over the trailer that belongs to Steve's mate.
Sorry about the oil, man, but nothing I can do about it. That's hemorrhage, that bad.
Where's the hemorrhage?
That pump there? Yeah, it's in that pump. Right in the back of that seal.
The seal at the back of the pump, righto. This is the trailer that he asked me to bring back. Jesus Christ, just backfires on you.
Steve faces a highly dangerous journey ahead, and with the added drama, he's about to boil over.
He said, oh mate, do us a favour and load my trailer back, will you? Well, I've loaded his trailer back. I've loaded it with a broken down machine and covered it in oil. And then he'll be upset and I'd rather just have nothing to do with it. And there's the fitter standing there laughing like it's funny. It's not funny to me, it's a nightmare.
With the clock ticking, the road crew are struggling to get Steve's rig loaded. The parched earth loading ramp has collapsed, pulling up 3 feet short of his trailer.
I could get a bucket load and tip it behind it.
Look, you can if you like, just don't smash my tail lights. Yeah, look, you won't hurt anything if you trickle it in.
They have no choice, ramming the gap with old tyres and loose soil, and Steve's not happy.
That's probably smashed the tail lights.
It's a rough as guts loading ramp, but it might just work. It's messy, but it gets the job done. Steve's dog Bella helps hitch the trailers. She's an experienced Outback trucker.
She barks. She gives me a certain bark when I'm hooked up. She's my guide dog. Good girl. Thank you.
In this remote outpost, it's been a trial getting loaded. But the real danger lies ahead, with Steve carrying his giant triple trailer across over 2,000 kilometres through the blistering hot landscape of Australia's central desert.
There's a few people lost their lives on this road, actually. Young fella went to turn his truck around, got bogged. Thought he'd walk back to town. He wasn't far out of town. He didn't make it. He died.
With his life at stake, Steve's not taking any chances.
You don't want to have any breakdowns. You don't want to have any stuff-ups out there. You leave here with full water tanks, full fuel tanks.
He's fully prepared. With decades of experience, if anyone can arrive alive, it's Steve Graham.
I got this little bit of bitumen here, then I'm into it. You know, rarely do you get across this 1,000+ kilometres of dirt without some issues happening somewhere.
Steve barely gets his giant load up to speed when the tarmac disappears, torn up by road workers.
What I've done is I've asked for permission to go on the formation, which is the centre.
You'll be right to get straight through, all right?
Righto, mate, no worries. Thanks for that. I'll do it, eh? Well, I'm going to have the good road in the middle.
The roadworks are a big problem for Steve so early in the journey. If something goes wrong, reversing his 53.5 metre triple trailer road train will be impossible.
You got no chance in the world of backing a triple up 3 or 4 kilometres to get out of there. You're stuck. This is what I didn't want. is a machine parked in the middle of the road, and I'm up on a very high bit where I can't get across.
And reversing is impossible.
But I have got an escape route here. This side's not a bad drop. So there you go, that was interesting.
For Steve, it's out of the frying pan and into the fire.
It's hard to find a bit that you like along here.
He faces a bone-rattling 2,400 kilometre journey on some of the worst corrugated roads in the country.
When I was 8, I saw a big truck like this drive past the gate, and I dreamt when I grew up I'd drive one, but it didn't have corrugations in the dream. They just flog you, they break your gear, they flog you. This is just ridiculous. I've got to keep the window up, there's that much dust out there.
A bad day gets worse. Out of the blue, a choking desert sandstorm.
And it's as hot as hell, and it's blowing dust. It's all dust and heat now.
Even for an experienced trucker like Steve, it's the stuff of nightmares.
I'll have to back it off. Unbelievable.
In this deadly environment, small problems can escalate into life-threatening emergencies.
You don't treat this place lightly. You don't get smart with it. It'll slap you down pretty quick. You know, we've got the Great Victoria Desert in front of us and 1,000+ kilometres of empty country. There's not a lot out here. Right there, there's people that didn't make it. There's, you know, how would you like to be in that? That's the end of that car. You're just up here once. I ran out of wheel bearings. I was sitting on the side of the road down here for 4 days. I think 2 other vehicles came along in the 4 days. From what I can see of it, the load looks all right, but I'll pull up here and check it. A few things have come loose here and there, but you expect that.
In the scorching heat, just getting out of his truck is a risky move.
People have got no idea how quick they're drying out. It's a dry, dry place. It's unbelievably dry. So the moisture is just quietly leaching out of you.
High temperatures and a heavy load put Steve's engine under strain.
The old truck's working hard up this hill here. It's been a pretty low gear going through here. It's a bit of a struggle. And of course, we're in this real sandy stuff. I've got my power divider lock engaged, which means both my axles are driving.
Conditions are so bad, even a passing vehicle becomes a serious threat.
You've got to give them room. I'm losing traction, and you can get bogged here. This is gutless sand here.
It's a test for the veteran trucker. Thankfully, he passes. Daybreak, and Steve makes an early start, seeing the positives of his trucking lifestyle.
It's a pretty pleasant outlook. Nice start to the day. Most people don't have an office like this, do they, Billy? Right, that's it. It's time to go to work. Yesterday was brutally hot, and today's a complete change. An amazing night last night. Here I am in the desert, and I was worried about drowning. It went off around me. It's better than TV. One strike must have been pretty close because the CB wireless started scrolling around and all the channels were changing like mad. Yeah, and the lightning started to fire off behind me. It was amazing watching it. It's just another big show of force from good old Mother Nature.
10 kilometres down the road, and Steve sees the results of last night's entertainment.
Glad I didn't camp here. Look, there's a tree there where I reckon the lightning's hit it and blown it to smithereens. Once a fire goes through the country like that, it's a terrible, terrible, bleak-looking landscape. And there's no fire brigade. Someone's not going to come and put it out. It's going to burn for months and for hundreds of kilometres.
It looks like the storm isn't over. On the horizon, a threatening cloud formation.
I don't like the look of that at all.
Steve presses on, and the dark grey skies unleash.
Now it's raining. It's nuts. It doesn't rain here sometimes for years. And, you know, here I am. I've got to get a raincoat out. I mean, people should pay me to break droughts. I just can't believe I'm in the middle of the desert. It's the hottest, hardest time of the year, and I'm driven into a rainstorm. All right, let's have a look at this weather map. Got it. It's forecasting thunderstorms for today. Let's have a look at the radar. Oh my God, have a look at that lot. There we are, right in the middle of that circle. The rest of the country is pretty well dry, and right where I am, I'm just on the edge of that lot, and that's where I'm going, right through it. That's me, straight through all this lot. Unbelievable.
There is no other route to Perth. With a massive 1,200 kilometres still ahead, Steve has no choice but to push on.
If it gets any heavier than this, it could create some problems for me. Serious ones.
Right into the eye of the storm. In Brisbane, 32-year-old Robbie Mackay is getting set for one of the most ambitious moves of his young career. Carting a massive house, hundreds of kilometres across the state border into New South Wales. For Robbie, this is uncharted territory.
It's definitely the furthest we've gone in New South Wales, which is a nightmare all on its own. If we have dramas up here, I know who to call, I know who to talk to. New South Wales, completely different.
If that wasn't hard enough, the house Robbie and his team need to move is a fragile, century-old Queenslander. So grand, it has its own name. And so big, it needs to move in 4 pieces.
We got 4 trucks, 4 trailers, then we've got pilot vehicles, police, following vehicles, and then equipment vehicles. Like, with so many vehicles, it's always going to be a drama.
With each section over 28 metres long and between 4 and 6 metres wide, hazards lie around every corner.
There's low bridges, skinny bridges, traffic, and it's a house that ain't meant to be travelling, so they don't really like it.
This move is stretching Robbie's 19-man crew so far, he's been forced to bring in outside help.
We've got Billy Chaplin, who's another house mover, good family friend, who his livelihood is his truck and trailer as well.
Only problem, Billy's trailer isn't giving enough support to the fragile timber home, forcing Robbie's offsider Shane to lay in extra supporting beams.
Well, the house is set a lot better now, so...
But there's a price to pay.
It makes it higher, which is a drama.
The high load has Robbie worried about a low bridge ahead.
So she's 5'1", and we're 5 metres 50.
Billy will have just 5 centimetres to spare.
Just straddle the cat's eyes in the middle and just try and keep the wheels either side of the camber, hit it dead centre and just go slow.
For Robbie, taking the 50-year-old family business deep into a new state is a bold gamble.
Play the cards you're dealt. Whatever happens, happens. Do the best you can, you know. All right, we'll start running them out. We'll just turn right at the lights, mate, and then we go up over the top of the highway and back on.
Robbie's main concern now is to get to the border before daybreak. In Queensland, he's only permitted to travel at night.
Once the sun comes up, they've got the authority to pull you over.
But in New South Wales, he can only move during the day.
We're not allowed in New South Wales until daylight.
The plan is to get to New South Wales right on dawn, giving them a full day to conquer a tough 570-kilometre stretch to Boomerang Beach.
The sun's up, we're nearly at the border, which is good.
A quick stop to change police escorts.
There you go, mate. I'm Robbie.
Robbie, how you going?
Good, mate.
And Robbie can push ahead into the next state.
In your truck, let's do it. In your cars, let's go.
With a strict daylight curfew now in play, Robbie's watching the clock.
And it all takes time, you know, but we'll get there. It's only early, so she'll be right.
Also feeling the pinch, driver Billy with the highest load.
All good, you think, Robbie?
Yeah, you're not Bill. We're good.
The rest of the bridges are all good built. There's just one, that drawbridge thing, that's 5-1. Righto, mate.
At just 5.1 metres high, the next bridge has been on Robbie's mind for weeks.
The bridge at Wardell is pretty much the part of the whole trip I'm dreading. It's a drawbridge, so it's skinny and it's low.
With just 50 millimetres above him and little room on the sides, getting Billy's load across will be like threading the eye of a needle.
All right, so we're coming up to the bridge now, so fingers crossed.
Pretty close, eh?
Shane's cruising through. He's 150 mil lower than Bill.
Next, it's Billy's turn with the highest load.
Nice and steady, Bill. Keep it rolling, mate. You don't have a lot.
He has only 5 centimetres to spare. The slightest bump in the road could turn this fragile 100-year-old house into a pile of firewood.
Focus on the passengers, go on, mate. Are you alright? Just keep moving. You're on the passenger side and the driver's side, Bill. You're out from underneath it, mate.
Nice and steady, wins the race. That was the one that we were worried about.
But there's still plenty more worries to come.
We've pretty much got an hour of single lane, like oncoming traffic coming at us. So this is, you've got to keep your wits about you.
With the widest section of house 6 metres across, it chews up nearly 2 lanes. Frustrating drivers trying to get past.
So we're in traffic at the moment, so it's a pain in the arse. One bloke will go for it and try and get round you, and then another bloke will follow him, so it gets a bit dangerous.
Robbie pulls over to let the traffic jam pass.
We got to get going, mate.
Ready to go.
All sections down, so just starting to move up now, first one.
It's one more delay he can't afford.
Got to keep the convoy rolling. By the time you slow down, stop, and then take back up, it just eats through the time, you know, and we're pushed for time as it is. If we run out of time, we run into heaps of problems. Another headache I don't need.
Robbie now has just 3 hours to cover 200 kilometres.
Did you hear that? Sound like a tyre, eh? I think we just blew a tyre. We'll have to pull up.
This needs to be a fast pit stop.
Yeah. Yeah, travelling during the day, they get pretty hot pretty quick. They just tear open. Is the air still through to the trailer?
But there's a problem.
It just doesn't have enough air supply, so usually the air one just rattles them on, rattles them off, but not this time.
With a sunset driving curfew fast approaching, he needs to get his convoy back on the road or risk getting stranded for weeks.
Let's go. If we run out of hours, there's no guarantee they'll give us permits the next day. Yeah, we could be sitting up on the side of the road for a good 10 working days. 2 weeks on the side of the road is something I don't want to be doing.
Robbie and his team are heading off the inland highway and towards the popular coastal strip.
Yeah, it's a pain. It's a hot day, so there'll be lots of people out.
For the final leg into Boomerang Beach, the roads get busier.
Look at it, would ya?
And narrower.
This is the block just here, so we'll just back them off the road. 5:30 on the dot.
For new homeowner Bianca, it's an emotional moment.
This is the biggest thing I've ever done, and if it all comes together, I'll be really proud of myself and my husband.
Tomorrow the pressure will be on to put this house together and deliver on some very big dreams.
Got all faith in the boys, but yeah, we're just got our fingers crossed it all comes together. And
Coming together is literally what has to happen. From 4 split sections of house, Robbie and his team need to create one. No mean feat on a block not much bigger than the house.
That side up. So, there's a bit of barring and jimmying around to get it in.
To make it fit, Robbie needs to do some serious landscape gardening.
It's tight.
It's the final piece in the puzzle. And the most fragile. With all 4 pieces joined, it's now up to the surveyors to make sure the house measures up to the plans.
Is that about 12.2? If I'm wrong, it's a long way to take it back. The length of the house is within 30 millimetres of the plant dimension, so we can work with that.
The next stage requires even more precision, placing the house exactly on the survey pegs.
We got to position this house, weighs about 40 tonne, into position within a millimetre.
This is it now. We're getting to the final moment.
Coordination of the trucks is vital.
Go left, yeah, no, I can't go anymore.
With the full 40 tonnes of the house now riding on just 2 trailers, the smallest miscommunication could tear the house apart. It's a high-stakes dance.
Yes, you are on.
Are we in?
Good work, buddy. Legend, man.
For Robbie, it's a moment to cherish on the biggest job of his career.
Yeah, good satisfaction out at the end of the day. You can see what you've achieved, and yeah, we've come all the way from Brisbane down here and there. Obviously, you see the joy in their face when they see it all come together. So, yeah, it's good.